Today's shenanigans begin. It is Thursday, February 19th. We're here just outside of downtown Houma. Gonna take a plantation tour. Welcome everyone. It is a windy day outside, so I will do what I can to stop the wind from screwing with the audio here. But we're at the Southdown Plantation. We're gonna take a tour probably in the next 20 minutes. Got here a little bit early. We're going to take a tour of the plantation, see what we have going on in here. Let the shenanigans begin. Outside of the plantation here, there's a church bell from the Presbyterian Church in Houma. Looks like it was cast in 1896 in Baltimore, Maryland. And then when they built the new Presbyterian Church in Houma, there was no bell tower, and so Frank and Betty Worslow kept it in their home until 1999, and then it was returned to the church, was kept on display, and brought here to the plantation in 2023. Interesting. I've never thought about keeping a church bell in my home, but I guess do what you gotta do. I'm seeing a trend here with the traffic cones.
Wow!
Here's the outside of the plantation. It's pink and green. Maybe we should do this to the house.
No.
Okay. It is a National Registered Historic Place as well.
It's owned by a board of directors, and I'll dig into that a little bit deeper. This house was built in 2 stories. So this is the first story, completed by Mr. William Minor in 1853, and then the second story by one of his sons, Mr. Henry Minor, and he completed it in 1893. So this door that we entered is kind of small, but if you do look right here, this door is quite large, and that is because this is the original back door. We're actually standing on the original back porch.
Oh, okay.
So this room is quite large in comparison to the other rooms you're going to see. When they enclosed it, they turned this room into a dining area. So,
And when did they enclose this?
and when his son, Mr. Henry, started, it was completed in 1893. Construction took many years. The house is 12-inch thick brick. It's a blackjack brick. So it's actually a gray color, but once put in the kiln to fire it and make it hard, it turns a fiery red color. So actually right behind you, you can actually see the actual brick of the house right here. And Southdown, as you may know, it's a nice shade of pink, right? Most plantations are white. Ours was originally a white plantation. But because of the color of the brick and the plaster, when it rains, it would get in between and make these splotches. And so, yes, and then he was like, okay, I've had enough, pink it is. So that's how we got a pink plantation. Miner's original office, and here you'll see some sugar history. He had a sugarcane farm and as well as a dairy farm, so we have some dairy tokens right here, and as well as some sugar scientists right here. This machine actually could put the sugarcane in, and it would test the quality of the sugar in here.
Oh, cool.
Yes, this is the only piece we have left of our Southdown slave cabins. It's a cypress piece of wood. Most things like that were destroyed during hurricanes. But we do have a worker's cabin outside, which is kind of like the same build, but ours is a kitchen, so it would have been like your average Joe's house.
Gotcha.
This is where we are at number 1, that's Southdown, and this is the mill. The mill is now located in Guatemala. This is cane field right here. Number 11 and 10 right there, you have the little Southdown store. So this is what this piece of property looked before it was sold off. So the Minor family lived in here until the Great Depression when they got kicked out. Several families lived in here until the Valhalla Corporation. They bought just the mill part. They didn't live inside the house, so for quite a few years, Southdown did receive some damage, some abandonment, but it was going to be demolished in the 70s when all the mill was being sold off. And then it was saved by the Terrebonne Historical Society. society. So
That's
they came
awesome.
together, saved it, and it took them about 10 years to fully restore it to the quality that people could come inside.
This is the same building as these?
This building right here is actually that first white
Oh,
building.
gotcha.
So
Okay.
this is the slave quarters.
Gotcha. Okay. I was like, that doesn't look like the rest of it.
No, that's
Okay.
where my office is, and I'll take y'all back that way.
Sure.
And explain the actual sugar or cane apart. You know, it's like
Okay.
a corn on the cob.
Yeah.
It's got the husk on the outside. Same thing with sugar cane. It's got the hard. You can't rip into it, so you have to have a machine that pulls everything
Makes
apart.
sense.
Yes, your hands would be not very attractive.
Absolutely.
Trying to do that.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Oh, I can see this.
Yeah, you have these Southdown sugar bags, so that's what the.
It used to come in?
Yeah.
What is it, you said it still produces sugar, correct?
So we don't operate a mill, this is just a plantation
Yes.
museum, but the land has been sold off to other sugarcane farmers. So all around us right now, it's not sugarcane season, so you notice a lot of fields with nothing on them. Those are the sugarcane fields. We do have a sugarcane lab that was, they donated a piece of the property, so we did contribute to the quality of sugarcane.
Oh, okay.
So they tested sugarcane quality to make sure, because in 1919, mosaic disease killed the first group of sugarcane, and then they had to make a hybrid breed to continue to grow sugarcane, which didn't help. A couple years later, then the Great Depression hit, and so they were already down bad.
Right.
So that's when the family was kicked out of the home.
What, with the sugar cane that you said you've sold off, or they sold off to the different families, who are the producers of that sugar cane now?
So we do have a
Or I should
mill.
say the sugar, I guess.
We have a sugar processing lab in Thibodeau. There's a little city called Chappé next to it, and they have a mill that operates. I'm not sure who operates. There's several locations,
Okay.
but we do have a small laboratory that tests the quality of the sugar.
Gotcha.
But none of the Minor family in this area continues to grow sugarcane. Most of his blood family lives farther away,
Got it.
and then more of the Minor family that still lives here today is related to the enslaved people that worked here.
Got it,
So
okay.
they, typically that's more common, and there's the Minor family associated with the slaves, and then Peabodys and Pipes are more the descendants of the Minor family.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
very cool, thank you.
It's 14 feet tall, so it definitely makes you feel good, you know. When I first walked in here, when I was learning everything, I was like, I wish my house had this tall of a ceiling.
Right.
It's currently a gift shop, but it's actually originally Mr. Miner's bedroom. We're hoping to get some bedroom furniture so that we can fill that room up. But he actually did die in the home in this bedroom right here, which is really cool. So he had his office, his bedroom, and then his parlor room right there. And so we'll go into there. But this is the actual family tree. We have a larger one upstairs, but you can see Mr. William and Rebecca, and their 13 children. 12 boys in a row, 1 daughter, last shot. He was a very lucky man right there. Sons were really a good thing, so he really
Right.
lucked out right there.
Right.
He did lose one of his sons in infancy, but then he used the same name a couple sons down. Mr. Henry Miner is his son who built the second story of the house, and his descendants lived here until the 39, yeah. And
Okay.
a little bit after the Great Depression, and then they were kicked out of the home because they couldn't afford it.
Yeah. It's
And
hard.
yes,
So many people.
it was definitely a hard time. He
Yeah.
had 9 plantations, so he definitely was bouncing around and battling because that money really hit below, and then they couldn't afford it. And this is our Native American room. So we have a Terrebonne historical museum, so we have a combination of the actual home history with also Terrebonne Parish history. So in this room, you'll see several objects made of, the United Houma Nation is the homeless tribe that lives in our area. So in here you'll see palmetto baskets. This is a crawfish made out of pine needles in here. They're originally from the Baton Rouge area, Red Stick, and so they came down to the bayou as the settlers took over the area. And then we have a display of the old clay pots as well that show that Native Americans have lived down in the bayou region for as long as we know. palmetto underneath with the clay over the top. And they may have used palmetto to help with the design of it, but these are all clay pots. So underneath Louisiana soil is mostly clay, and actually that's actually how we got the clay for this house.
Okay.
So these are, and they may have used sticks and stuff to help actually carve or little arrows.
Okay.
That's really neat.
I would never think to pick up a pine cone and do that. They're real hard to touch, and they're,
Right?
yes, I think it's very, they have some very intricate art for sure.
It's so innovative for like the time. You know what I mean? Like truly people that knew how to live off the land and made the best of it.
They use the resources, lots of cypress, the palmetto plant. It kind of looks like a palm tree almost. That's the best way I can describe it.
Very neat.
This is a blowgun right here. So we have a lot of duck hunters in the area. So when they bring their families in like this, your dad liked to go duck hunting because this is what he used right here. Poison dart on that end. You would go blow and you could catch dinner.
Very cool. Look, Charlie, look, look. You see all that stuff? That is so neat. Oh, look at, let me see on the prehistory.
That one are actually original to the home.
Oh, cool.
They're easily weigh up to 1,000 pounds each, and they're full wood. There's actually storage components underneath, and I think it's really cool that we have original furniture to the house. Since it was abandoned for a couple of years, obviously we don't have a full set. We do have a bedroom set upstairs that's original to Mr.
Very nice.
So, but every now and then we get family members that open their storage unit and they say, "Hey, we have furniture," and they belong to the house, and we're like, "Yes." Big win, because they have historic things everywhere you go. You just don't know. But it's really cool. This couch actually fits together like a puzzle piece. So there's like no screws or anything in the actual holding it together part.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yes, I would say like, you know, the modern couch, like my couch came from Amazon and it blew up on its own.
Right?
And this is not something, but this is very exquisite, very hand detailed. The slaves that worked here, he had 115 slaves that worked on this plantation and hand carved by the slaves. This staircase is also original to the home, hand carved by the slaves.
It's amazing. It's kind of like that stuff that Mrs. Curie used to get from wherever.
This is that second couch right here.
Oh, okay.
All hand carved. I don't think I would hand carve a couch, but it's very exquisite piece for sure. And it fits just like a glove, and so I think it's very cool to have original pieces.
Absolutely. Your wheels are scratching the floor though.
Yeah. These pieces, 1,000 pounds each. The glass is from New York. Mr. Henry Miner installed it whenever he built the second story of the house. So he actually went to New York, got custom fitted. There's palmetto leaf, magnolia, and sugar cane. in these
Very
pieces.
nice.
On tugboats, shrimp farms, this is an actual scale right here. You know, to weigh your sugar, your produce a little bit, you know, make sure everything's balanced. We have some old tools. We have this old cane cutting knife right here. So this is what the slaves actually used to cut the cane on the sugar farm right here. We have, this is an oyster trolling catcher right here. So whenever people go out to catch oysters, this is what they use to squirt the bottom right there and get the oysters. Shrimp farm, so when you go further down the bayou, the shrimp farmers, they'll dump the shrimp underneath here and they'll actually get it dried hard. If you've ever been to the grocery store and there's like a dried bag of shrimp, this is where it would come from. So they actually they put it in and sell it at the grocery store. So my grandma likes some dried shrimp. Ain't really my favorite, but she'll eat it like it's a bag of chips.
We were talking about that the other day. Yeah, we're not popular with
husband loves that stuff.
I can't do it. Like I don't know how they do it, but I mean I like it when it's in the stew. Like a grandma saved it for winter time, and she's like rehydrates just fine and shrimp
That's a good
spaghetti.
idea. I didn't even think about that. Yes.
Yeah, she would put it in her shrimp spaghetti stews when it's off season, and it's just good to go.
Makes it. That's a great idea.
Team right here. One really cool thing is that there is white and Native Americans on this team, which is really cool for the time. time, considering all races at this time got along very well. Right here, so if you love a good power tool, this is the 1800s power tool right here. They thought this was the best thing in the world. You just crank a hole in whatever you need, and it's way better than slamming an axe or trying to get that hole that would be super uneven. This would make very uniform holes. So if you use power tools, you're probably very thankful. Houma in our Terrebonne Parish area right here. So you have the old town hall, the old stores. Let's see, this is a firefighter department right here.
It's probably when my great grandma was around.
Teach you a little bit, and then it's gone forever. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't keep it up, it's definitely.
Well, here now they don't even have language teachers. You just teach yourself online.
When I was on, there's actually kings and queens of our homeless parade in here. He's taking a nap because he was on the staircase. That's what happens after Mardi Gras. I could not get him up to save my life. There are some men here today, so hopefully I can get them to get him back upright. But there's like a wedding photo shoot in here, and I think to move him myself. He is way heavier than he looks.
No
but this is what happens after Mardi Gras. These are the trains of a king and a queen right here. This is Miss Jackie Sinek. She's been with the Hyacinthines group for 75 years. POV magazine just covered her, and they actually used this shot of her. But the Sinek family is a very well-known family in this area, especially Miss Jackie Sinek and her love for Mardi Gras. So it's definitely a big honor to be as a king or queen. They do the toasting downtown. It's actually quite expensive to ride in a month. You have to buy all the items yourself that you throw out, so it's definitely an investment. If you love it, you will put the money into it. But they actually had a tea here, and they reveal like the costume and the themes, and it's really cute. It's a very cute tradition, and I think it's a very unique one. And of course, the king cake is my favorite. I have eaten an entire king cake myself this season. Like,
So have I, unfortunately.
delicious. It's like a cinnamon roll. Like, why not?
Traditional.
You guys, next year, remember the Berg Supermarket. The Berg Supermarket.
We went out there and we got one.
Yes, and they fly off. They're actually like nice and valuable. Like, there's some cool designs to them. Some well thought out rather than just the plastic.
The little plastic ones now, yeah.
Now the kids like the ones with the bubble gum in them or the chocolate, and then
Of course.
yes, and so that's what I liked as a kid. But these are really pretty and they actually have some design.
Oh,
so these tokens are given to them during that party that they have. We had a Hyacinthines tea in the actual museum, which is really cool. So, two men from Germany came to the U.S. before the Civil War. They made 100,000 of these. This one is given to a young girl named Mary on her 6th birthday. She beat yellow fever, and she lived at the Plantation, which no longer exists. And so her parents were so excited that she beat yellow fever that they got her a Regina jukebox.
Oh, these are.
There's not too so take your time,
Big steps.
watch your feet.
Big steps.
Feel free to hold on to the rail right here. Feel free to grab them as you go up, okay? This is the second story of the home. Is that everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. This is Miss Halle Barrow Cole's collection. This is her porcelain collection. Miss Halle Barrow Cole is the great-granddaughter of Mr. Gallo de Llamo. He was the Spanish governor giving out the land grants in this area. So he actually gave the land grant for this location. It was 1,000 acres of land for $250.
Hey.
Steel. But this is his great-granddaughter's collection. She burnt the molds when she died, so you can't get another one of these. Swans like this actually resides in the Chinese dictator's office.
Really?
Yes. It was given, one set was given to Nixon, and then Nixon took it to China.
No kidding.
Yes.
I need to see the birds. No, you're in y'all's way.
What is
This is our Spanish governor's room, and so I'll tell you guys a little bit about Mr. Galloso. Mr. Galloso's bed from the 1790s, and one weird thing about it is that it has feet. And that was because when in South Louisiana, you might notice some old homes kind of do like that.
Yeah.
You see the cans or whatever roll to one side. Well, the beds would do the same thing, get uneven. So he designed a bed where you could level it, and so you wouldn't roll off the bed, because then you go to sleep without having to worry if you're going to flop on the floor.
That is really cool, actually.
It's very innovative for sure, and very intricate still. Yes, most beds did have a step stool to get in, and so it's very formal. This is a smaller photo of Mr. Galloso, and then that is a portrait of Mr. Galloso and his son. He was married 3 times, so he resided in Natchez, Mississippi, where he married his first wife who died in childbirth. Then he came to this area, married Miss Elizabeth, who had 2 children with him. She then died, and then he married her sister, who also died. So we wonder if it was him or disease or childbirth, but really not good luck. Oh yeah, you like the trees? Wow.
This is like outside by my window.
Yeah, it looks like outside by your window.
Yeah, that's clean yourself. And if you had to go number 1 or 2, you do it in a little pot and you put it out on the porch. Because you weren't going out to the outhouse because alligators, raccoons, armadillos, you're going to lose an arm or a leg if you went to the bathroom.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and you'd rather just go in a little pot and the server take care of it for you after.
Yeah.
And this is the bathtub, and I'm really glad that I have the tub that I have today.
Right?
Yes, it makes you definitely appreciate the modern tub and stuff, because if I had to go in a little pot, I definitely would not be happy.
Right?
Yeah, and so this is Mr. Henry Miner's original bed, and then his napping bench right here. So if you notice, the height of the bed right here, quite low in comparison, and that's because Mr. Henry was 4'11", his wife was 6 feet tall.
No kidding.
Yeah, so his bed's way low to the ground. It's custom made for him. And then I thought that was originally for the children, but it's
Right.
actually for him to take a nap on during the day.
It's like a toddler bed.
One thing you might notice, there's no closets in the home, and that's because closets, you'd have to pay taxes on them.
Oh.
So if the bank came and they inspected your house and they saw a closet, you'd have to pay them. So that's where you get the armoire, and that's where they kept the clothes in, the modern dresser, but it started with this because you would have to pay for it if not, which I would not want to pay extra just to have a closet.
Please stop touching me. Yeah.
Let's see the descendants. Last week I actually got to meet Mr. Frank right here, which is the descendant of Henry Miner Jr., and he is the descendant of Henry Miner, which is really cool. So he popped in, he said, "Do you mind if I come take a picture of the family tree?" And I was like, "Would you like the tour?" And he said, "No, I'm family. I know the history." And I said, "Well, where do you lie in the family tree?" So I actually got to meet Mr. Frank.
That's
He
really
lives in
neat.
Tennessee, but I was like, if you got any details or some furniture or something, I'd like to know. But it's really cool. Sometimes we'll get a call from somebody saying, "I think my family lived here." And I said, "Well, what's your last name?" And I can kind of trace them. Or sometimes they're Miner family and they belong to the enslaved. And they tell me all kinds of history about them working, or some even worked inside the mill. So you have the white workers, enslaved workers, the descendants. And so a lot of people were involved here.
Yeah.
And so we get a lot of calls about it. And we're like, "Do you have any information on so-and-so?" I said, "Well, tell me a little bit about more who you're looking for."
Right.
And so the LSU Research Center is really good to have a lot of the Miner family history, since he actually, most of his stuff is located in Natchez, Mississippi, where he originally from. Senator from 1937 until the 70s, until he died. He was Speaker of the House before then, so he was actually 3rd in line to become the president, which is really cool for us because we typically don't have anybody that big from our area as a politician. He was really good friends with Nixon and Huey P. Long. He visited every country except for 2 in Africa, as they did not allow him to enter the country at the time. This is actually a map of his travels throughout 1937 until the 70s. He actually, Nixon and the cabinet came to St. Francis Church where his
Really?
funeral happened. So this was like the biggest thing. Our board tells us like there was the most exciting thing. Like the Houma Times covered it and they thought it was the best thing in the world. He actually won the election in this area even though he died. Like they knew he died and he still won. So he was very important for their time. Like they loved him. This is him right here. He had one son. His one son helped save Southdown, actually.
Okay.
And his one son had 13 children, just like the Minor family.
Really?
One was actually our board president for 9 years.
Okay.
They still help out Southdown. I know 5 of his grandchildren.
No kidding.
Yes, and so they help us at our marketplace and our events. One takes care of the garden, actually, and one cuts the grass. And they do it for free.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're very generous people. His son was actually a well-known doctor, physician in the area. So,
Okay.
originally from Thibodeau, but made it to the big shots, DC. This is an actual replica of his office as it was whenever he was a senator. So
Okay.
I always like to imagine that him and Nixon had a really long conversation daily in here.
Yeah.
But he was a very important political figure for us. Definitely during this time, Louisiana was known as Democrats, and then they had to switch after the war. Everything kind of switched. So he had Republican views, but was listed Democratic. Yes.
Right.
He got this as a gift. Somebody gave him actual human hair and scalp.
Crazy.
It's a weird thing to have, and we don't know who it belongs to. His family donated the collection to us. So,
That's so cool.
bedrooms, and then down here, the first room would have been the kitchen, then the laundry room, and then the deep freezer. So the kitchen is separate in here so that it wouldn't burn down the actual plantation.
Okay.
And so there actually was a long hallway that connected this building to the actual back door to the kitchen. So it rains, you wouldn't get your food wet. You could go within, travel without being seen. And so the slave
Who
workers.
doesn't want watered down food? Come on.
You don't want a summer spray on your food?
Right? It's a little extra flavoring.
A little moist. Well, I guess if you burnt the chicken, it would be a good way to, prove it before you made it to the table. But yes, today it is my office and currently under construction down here. But let me see if anybody's still down here.
Everybody walk out.
Let's see. You guys want to come take a peek at least it's cute, that's
Sometimes.
This.
The original cypress roof.
Actual original red cypress wood that was used to
wow.
build this quarters.
Wow.
It's a little messy in here under construction. We're doing a little stuff, new things coming, but
Nice.
this is the actual wood that was used, which I think is really, really cool. They don't make wood the same way they used to. This wood is really thick, where today's plywood could probably snap real easy.
All right, well, that's going to do it for today. If you ever get the chance and you come down to Houma, check out the Southdown Plantation. A lot of interesting things. They're definitely very accommodating for us to fit us in for this tour today. But with that, take care.